How to not be a two-trip
So
bitch.
how to what?
How to not be a two-trip bitch. Take a trip to the gym and a trip home and you quit. Two-trip bitch.
Yeah, we don't want that. So a lot of people, we've got Commit Fit here out in Plainfield, and a lot of people have been asking me, your gym must be like so busy. It's January. Like you must be so busy. And we're really not. Like we have a few new people, right? But it's not like we get this giant influx of people in January, and that's for a couple reasons. Number one being we don't really put that much attention on like get into it in the new year. We
Mm-hmm.
focus a lot on that all of the year. And so if you agree with like the way that we look at things and our perspectives on fitness and lifestyle, you don't need January. So we don't market it as such.
Yeah,
The
every
other
month of
reason
January,
is
really,
because
it's, you know,
yeah, I mean you could start on a Wednesday. It doesn't even have to be a Monday. Like that's kind of how we run things. And so it would be counteractive for us to say, get in here for the new year. It's
mm-hmm.
you get in here at any time. So we kind of run our marketing the same as we do the rest of the year. But also part of it is that one of our biggest draws here is like the community, the support,
Yeah,
the personalization, the fact that you're going to come here and we'll know your name. And not only will we know your name, we'll know your kids' names and
yeah,
what's going on with your left knee. And we'll have something ready and waiting for you, and everybody else will be waiting to see you too. It's a big community type thing. We give you reasons to keep coming back outside of just picking up some
yeah,
dumbbells, right? And at the beginning of the year, January, people don't need that as much yet, right? They've got the new year, they're riding this high of a new goal and the excitement of starting over. And there is a level of newness and novelty to that where you don't really need the outside motivation or accountability just yet. We tend to get busier in February, March when that New Year's hype starts to wear off and real life starts to come back in. And all of a sudden, you're running your kids everywhere, you're working all day, you're stressed out, you're overwhelmed. And this fitness thing now, it's like, do I need to let that go so I can focus on everything else instead? And that's when we tend to get a little bit busier because people think to themselves, wow, maybe I need a little bit more accountability than I thought. Or my progress has started to stall. I don't know what to do next, and I'm not done yet. So I need some extra help. And that's when we get busy. But the thing about that is, if you're someone like that who is then after a couple weeks going to be looking for extra, that's awesome because you really had a choice between am I going to quit or am I going to keep going?
yeah,
Am I going to quit or am I going to figure out how this whole fitness thing works within my actual life instead of when I'm all excited to start this brand new goal?
yeah.
And for a lot of people, if you're going to keep going, it means you've got to make an adjustment of some sort. You know what I mean?
This whole cast is supposed to be about like how not to quit, basically, right? Like with any new venture or any thing that you're going to start, whether it's a life changing fitness journey or finally decluttering the basement or, you know, starting your new business or, you know, trying to really go over the top in terms of performance at work or a sport or a hobby or just if you're trying to try to do something different, better than different even, right? Then there's a part of your thought process that has to be aware of all of your potential obstacles and saying that, you know, you only think of the positive and all that's some fucking horse shit. You know, nobody,
Totally.
they're not the same thing. It's apples and oranges. Okay. When you're a
Yes.
strategist, you got to look at them threats. You got to look at who am I fighting right now? And
Mm-hmm.
busy ass gyms is a detractor. It's great for business for a lot of dumbass trainers like just shit. You know, think because it's like easy pickings. The way that it's sold is you got a lot of emotionally charged people, and it's easy to play on that. So that goes back to all the several, episodes that we've had that talk about pre-qualifying your trainer and kind of knowing what you're doing and your why and all of that shit. I built Commit in the very beginning based on where were the opportunities at? And February was always the slowest. March was arguably more busy than January, typically for two reasons. One, people who quit in January, quit at the end of January, so they quit for February, decided, fuck me, I can't do this. And they come back in March. Or two, a lot of places will throw their next round of deals
spring break
in March, masking it as pre-summer or get right for summer kind of thing in March, like a spring break kind of something or other, when it's really about the rebound. And it's not a coincidence in that it happens to be a month just as long as January from a fiscal standpoint. If your fiscal year begins in January and so on, right? Because most businesses will go by a quarter. And if you're going on a traditional January to December fiscal calendar, then that first quarter is essential to get buttoned up for the rest of the year in terms of planning and all that other shit. So I built everything based on February, not giving a motherfucker about the numbers, because there's always going to be somebody who needs help. Always. What were the things that stood out to me that I saw from the client base of all the gyms I'd ever been at? And most of the time, those that quit started for the wrong fucking reasons. They didn't start with the right fuel in their tank. They went off of this shit on a whim, on this emotional charge because of some unthought out, like, you know what, I'm going to show you. And then you just kind of did it. And then when the shit got hard, you didn't have the substance to draw on to keep you focused. So that goes back to why you're doing it in the first place. And sometimes if you don't calculate the risks going ahead, ahead of your journey, certain things can sideswipe you when all of the things are in alignment to do so. Like if you're having a bad day, that's the time when you drop your keys or you spill your coffee or you catch your fucking bag on the doorknob. Like those are the dumb shits that happen all the motherfucking time. Like tell me I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I never catch my pant pocket on my fucking storm door unless I'm either late or infuriated with something completely fucking dumb. Then all of a sudden, the one rogue ass fucking wild twat hair of a fucking thread reaches out and grabs the fucking doorknob, and I tear half the house down with me, just trying to exit the house. Like, what the fuck? And now all of a sudden, not only is that the most irritating thing, but I got a hole in my pants for no reason. The door's broken. Now I've added to my list of things to do to fix. You know what I'm saying? My back probably will have been sprained for being twisted the wrong way. When my dickhead's falling out the wrong hole, when it's supposed to be to the left, now it's to the right. Like, what the fucking hell, dude? Like everything. And all of a sudden, the last thing you give two twat hairs in the shit about is your goal. You just trying to kill somebody at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I guess my point is to bring it in. The last thing you're trying to do, in my experience, okay, is when you're at a gym and you're just kind of getting it and the place is packed, right? How irritating it's going to be to wait for a piece of equipment. The second thing would be feeling like you're being hawk-eyed by some fucking random punk-ass trainer who's like watching you like you're at a car dealership or something. You know what I mean? Can I help you lift anything today? Nah, motherfucker, I'm just looking, bitch. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's just like, no, just back the fuck up off me. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're on a, you're not sure, the man land looks terrifying, right? Ladies, come on. You look at the fucking weight area. You you know goddamn well what I'm talking about. You just say, oh, hell no, I'm not going with this. Too many motherfucking men and shit. So where do you go? The fucking line of treadmills every fucking time, right? And what's there? Lines. What's after the lines? The motherfucking trainers who are waiting by the window. Like, look at this bitch. Third pre-core in with the headphones. That's the one I'm getting lost. You know what I'm saying? And it might as well just be a bar with some chump trying to fucking pick you up. You know what I mean? So stuff like that is irritating. And then you start to marginalize what you're going after when you get there. And the next thing you know, it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? And then you leave
Yeah.
because it just
Yeah.
wasn't working out. And you begin to lie to yourself and fool yourself into thinking that it wasn't the right time or you weren't ready yet, or maybe even that gym wasn't the right spot for you.
Exactly.
And all the things may be right, but they were always going to be right. They were always going to be there.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
So,
And when you can anticipate that, that changes everything. You know, when you can say, like, for instance, just kind of a little side note, we have on our social media, we've posted a couple workouts now where all you need is like one suspension trainer or one set of dumbbells, something that you can grab so you won't be annoyed waiting around for stuff. But it's those types of things that you have to think about ahead of time. Like, you've got to be able to anticipate, like, you're walking in with this plan and this plan has you all over the gym. You've got to be able to anticipate, you know what, this might not work right now when it's this crowded. I'm going to need a backup plan so that I'm not aggravated standing there waiting for X, Y, and Z the whole time. When you need a backup plan for when the motivation starts to fade because your life gets busy again, and now holidays have slowed down, we're back to like routine, quote unquote, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And it's getting harder and harder to keep up with the gym because you're overwhelmed. But one of the things that you need to do, you know, when you're talking about starting for the wrong reason, think about this. Think about, if you keep going for the next 6 months, fast forward to the beginning of summer, your kids are running around outside, they want to play tag, you got to put shorts on you haven't worn in almost a year. And think about how that scenario is going to look if you keep going from now until then.
Yeah.
Down to like how you feel, what those shorts look like, your first thought when your kids say, hey, let's go outside and play. And then think for a second about what that exact scenario would look like if you let yourself believe that it's, quote unquote, not the right time or not the right place or whatever it is that you're trying to tell yourself. Because those two scenarios are going to look so different. And that's the kind of thing that you have to draw on when you're sitting at that crossroad thinking, all right, am I going to make the sacrifice right now and put extra overwhelm into my already overwhelmed day by getting myself to the gym or setting my alarm extra early before everybody else gets up to get this done? Or am I just going to be, it's much easier just to like leave it.
Yeah. That's the
And
hard
that
part,
might
is
be
realizing
easier.
that your moment right now, any moment right now, for anything, could be the moment your future selves would say, I wish I would have started X. And that's
Exactly.
really fucking hard to
see in the future.
that, because
Yeah.
it's really hard to know how you're going to feel in the future. But it's hard.
That's why you got to. That's why you got to get specific
there
with
isn't
that
really
vision,
another.
though.
If you can't understand right here and right now, like what it feels like, especially if you've never done it, and if you've never actually gone after it before, and your expectation is 1 drop of sweat equals 10 pounds of fat, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
At least not from a healthy standpoint, you know. So, but I think we, somewhere deep inside logic, you know that, right? But it's like how we go about this shit and our expectations towards chipping away and chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. Oftentimes we'll understand a lot as we get older and we get to do shit, right? But you can be wise about it right now and take that knowledge and say, well, shit, let me think about this for a minute. All right, if I say it wasn't the right time, but I know that was wrong and I already left, all right, I'm going to wait till fucking March 1st. No, fuck you. The dates don't mean shit. Go back right now, re-sign up, and then leave so that you can at least say you got, you know what, you rescinded the offer. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, go from there.
And it can be super simple. We have a client here. I love her. She's so funny. She does not like exercise at all. She doesn't like eating healthy. She doesn't like any of it. But the thing that I love about her is
Is it the one that just
She
came
keeps
back?
it, she doesn't over, what?
Is it the one that just came back?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Her name's Lauren, and she wouldn't care. We talk about this all the time. I love her because she keeps it simple. She does not overcomplicate it, and she's honest with herself. And she's not only honest with herself; she's honest with me. I'll see that she canceled. She went to Disney early in December, then came back and got sick. Then it was the holidays, and it was a real hard go to come for her to come back. Yesterday was her first class back that I saw her, and she was. I texted her once last week, like, "Hey, where you at?" Yeah, I'm just not ready to come back yet. I'm like, Lauren, you've got to come back to show yourself that you're ready, you know? She's like, I know, I'm not there yet. Or I needed to sleep. Like, she's just she won't sugarcoat anything. She was like, listen, my car didn't start this morning. I could have took his, but I was like, nah, it's a nice sign not to go. I just stayed home. She's very honest and straightforward with me and with herself.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she was here yesterday, I said, does it feel good to be back? She goes, not really. She's like, but you know what? I kept telling myself, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Then I walked up the stairs at my house and I was out of breath from walking up the stairs at my house. And I thought, man, I may not feel ready, but I better get back there before this gets worse. Like,
Your
I'm
body
already
doesn't care if you're
going.
ready or
I
not.
can't keep
They don't
exactly. She goes,
care.
I'm not
Father
ready
Time will let you
emotionally.
know when you fucking ready.
That's right.
if,
And
if you let him.
she's like, I wasn't emotionally ready to come back. My body was ready. It needed it. So here I am. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're so right though. Like, that's the perfect way to put it without
Mm-hmm.
overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
She's noticing, yes, I don't want to go. That's a very real issue. But also, I'm out of breath walking up my stairs. And that's also
Mm-hmm.
an issue. How do
Bet you
you
she don't
fix
want to go
that
to
one?
work either.
Well,
Like, who wants to go to work? What you gonna do though? You ain't got no money.
exactly. Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
She's got to set her alarm to show up to a 10 a.m. class. Like, she's that, that's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't make excuses. And I can't even call what she does excuses because she's just telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
she's
awareness.
okay
Yeah.
with it in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's,
Yeah.
and that awareness is like the most important thing, because on the off chance that she does try and make an excuse, when I tell her, say something to make her realize that it's not actually that, it's something deeper than that, she's like,
Yeah.
you're right. You know what
You
I
know,
mean? Because
awareness.
she can have that awareness. It's that A plus B equals C. Like,
We talk
there's
about
no
it all
other
the
way to
time.
put it. I can't. Yes.
Self-awareness and perspective and everything. But one thing we don't really talk
Mm-hmm.
about is the balance behind
Mm-hmm.
truly being self-aware. Because if you go too far
Mm-hmm.
into the said quote unquote self-awareness, you end up using it to your advantage, and self-awareness becomes self-deprecation if you're not careful.
Yes.
And that will
Yes.
skew the fuck out of everything, because now it starts
Mm-hmm.
to make sense to you that all of a sudden you're too weak or you're just a punk ass. It's okay to be a quitter because
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware of it. No, that's not what I mean. That's not okay. Okay. Now, if you're happy with that, then
Right.
cool. Go ahead and do your thing. But my self-awareness doesn't need your self-awareness for validity. I don't need your happiness to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I got my own fights to fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the
Mm-hmm.
mentality where you're at. Like I was talking with my wife the other day about, we had a long drive home from Illinois, and it was like, we're just talking about random shit, trying to, pass the time or whatever. And, her grandparents had passed 5 days apart, which is fucking crazy. They were both 97, 96 years old. Like, they buried them both on what would have been her grandmother's birthday, 96th birthday. Like, what the fuck? They were married longer than my mom was alive. Like, it's crazy. So I prompted the question, like, well, shit, what kind of things did we learn from each other as a married couple? We've been together for 20 some years already. Right. And so, she was like, I learned about the confidence to get things going. It doesn't have to be perfect to get started, is what I guess she was saying that she learned from me. And I was like, I don't know. Is that confidence, or Is it really? Because I don't look at it like that. So I found it odd that she did. And a lot of my closer friends, they say the same thing. Like, I love how you're never afraid to start shit and da da da. Like, so many people have so many different perspectives on what they think I feel like when I start shit. Building a container home with building a home with no experience, building a gym when I didn't know how to in the beginning. Like, all, you know what I'm saying? And the irony is it confidence? I mean, maybe, but it's fear. And the fact is, what I'm aware of is what drives me day in and day out is rage. It sounds so bad. Like, I get it. Like, I sound like a psychopath right now talking about it. And everyone's got their own octane. But for me, it's rage, right? I am such an angry person all the fucking time that my go-to is to be sarcastic, witty, funny guys so that I don't let that part out. Like, if I walked around, I'd be a broody ass pouty motherfucker if I could. Like, I just love snapping on motherfuckers because then most everybody deserves it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you turn left, don't put a blinker on. Fuck you, bitch. What you think that little thing on the left is for? You want to get fucking rear-ended, dumbass? Like, fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers here in Oklahoma can't park for shit. Like, can't drive either, but they can't park either. Like, you got to at least get one right. How the fuck are you bad at both? You know what I mean? Taking your little fucking Hyundai or whatever the fuck you driving and you park all crooked and shit. Like, I got these little cards made up that says, congratulations, you parked like an asshole, that I leave in the fucking windshield. Because I do. I don't have any here. If I had one, I'd fucking show it to you. But it's like a notice. And then on the back, it says, here's the reasons why you're an asshole. It parked wrong, changed lanes, whatever it was. You can check them off and put the motherfuckers on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm that dude. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, for me, rage is my thing. Long story for all of that. But at the end of the day, it's learning how to contain said rage, to drive it towards something to make it useful. Otherwise, yes, you will crash and burn almost always. But there's a lot of things that I'm terrified of. I'm terrified that I'm not a good enough dad, coach, fucking neighbor, husband, business person. Like, I'm terrified all the time. And that terrifying feeling, the anxiety behind it, what it does to my ego, to my soul, to my purpose, to what I feel like the image I'm trying to put out there, how it dims the God-given light we all have, makes me even more mad. Like the Hulk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just say, anything that makes me even remotely nervous, I'm going to go at you. What I'm saying is, I'm going to go after it with everything I got, because the one thing we as a people have is the feeling of being afraid of something, and how we deal with that fear has a direct impact on the kind of lives we lived, our thought process, how we go about shit. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing the fear, facing the fears is not necessarily the brave thing. Courage and bravery comes from recognizing that thing and doing it anyway. That's where it's at. So if you're trying to start a fitness journey, what are you really afraid of? Are you afraid of failing and looking shitty?
You have to know that.
Because you're not afraid of starting. I don't care who you are. I don't give a fuck out of here. You're not starting a fitness journey. You are not afraid of fucking falling off the treadmill and breaking your tit. Get the fuck out of here. That is not a fucking legitimate fear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stop. Okay. What you're afraid of more than likely is looking like a fat piece of shit who couldn't get it right. You're afraid of being made fun of. You're afraid of hearing bitches in the locker room talking about shit that makes you uncomfortable. You're afraid of being judged. You're afraid of family members not supporting you. You're afraid that when the inevitable happens, like hitting a plateau or going into a gym day and it's fucking packed like a Golden Corral on a fucking buy one, get one, all you can eat special Friday night. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You're afraid of the moment when you want to get on a piece of equipment that you actually spent all day saying, I can't wait to get on that elliptical. And then you get there and it's broken, or you get there and there's a line for it. And now what? Now you're fucked, right? Those are you're afraid of those moments when you don't know what's on the other side. That's all fear really is. It's that you're afraid that you won't have an out, a solution. But the one out that everybody has is quitting. Everybody.
Yep.
And this, on a very, very serious note, the out to quit does include mental health and quitting life. That is very possible because that out goes to everybody has the same choice. You understand? Everybody. Now, hopefully that is not nearly as serious for everybody out there because that's a terrible way to look at things. But to not acknowledge the fact that that's one of the things lurking in the dark, and that comes in many different shapes and sizes. And I'm not talking about something violent in terms of the S word. I'm talking about self-deprecation can lead to alcoholism. Self-deprecation can lead to being a fucking loner. And all of a sudden you're socially cut off and now you can't function anymore because you forgot what it's like to interact with people, right? Food disorders, eating disorders. Yeah. Like the next thing you know, people thought that you're already gone because you never reached out. You never, and sometimes the work that is required from people to get where they wanted to go, from where they are to where they want to go is they forget that they got to be something they've never been. And that's the hard part. Sometimes it's about saying yes when you should say no, and vice versa. The easy part's getting up off the couch and going to the gym.
That's the easiest part. It really is. And your fears at the beginning may not be your fears as you keep going. Like when I first started, my fear was getting older and ending up like the adults I had watched in my life who became obese and were sick and couldn't do anything that they wanted to do because they were stuck in a chair connected to an oxygen tank. Now, my fear, I'm not afraid of that anymore because I proved to myself that I'm not going to let that happen and that I have control over, to some extent, what that looks like as I age. Now, the things that drive me are the fear and anxieties about going backwards. Like, I don't want to go back to where I was health-wise 15 years ago. And every workout I skip and every, phase I go through where I slip on nutrition a little bit, that's in my head. Like, you keep doing this,
were you
you're
out
going
of
to end
shape
up
and
back
whatever
there.
else because of the cancer or because of a lifestyle?
No, just because of me. Actually, when I got cancer, I was actually I was actually doing like really well. And so it was one of those things like, God damn, like seriously, I'm getting my shit together. I just got my shit together, and now this, like, I just worked my ass off to
Your body's like, no,
lose
bitch,
this
you're supposed
weight
to be fat.
and to
Fuck out of here.
yes, I had just failed out of college. I had just the day I was diagnosed, I was moving downtown into a very competitive program for elementary teachers, and and that was coming off of failing out of college. A year prior. Like, I had just pulled myself out of all the holes and then it was like, boom, right back down. So, and even through that, I don't even, that like part of my life being sick like that, that's, always a fear, of course, of like, well, something happens weird with my body and I'm like, ooh, like it makes me nervous for a second. I got to go see the doctor because this is happening. And what if it's that? But I'm more afraid of losing control of myself in a physical way, in the ways that I know I can control. Like, I know to an extent, illness like that I can't control. If I'm going to get cancer again, I'm going to get cancer again. There's not much I can do about that. There was nothing I could do about it the first time. I was doing everything right at that time. But what scares me more and what keeps me going is letting myself drop the ball in a way that puts me in another hole. Because I've also seen myself dig my own hole, and I know the shitstorm that comes from that. And so whether it's fitness or business or whatever else, if I'm sitting there nervous about what the next month is going to look like or what my fitness currently looks like, the fear, the thing that keeps me working hard at it is being afraid that if I don't, it all falls apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that about myself, and I know myself well enough to, most of the time at least, recognize when I'm starting to spiral in either area, and being able to pull back and say, all right, let's look at this objectively and see what you're actually doing and what you're not actually doing and what needs to happen or whatever. But if it's you going through your fitness journey, and you've got to be able to recognize those things, that those pain points, the things that make you feel shitty. Because very often the things that make you feel shitty are going to be the things that force you into doing the things you don't want to do so that you don't feel shitty. Just like the easy thing to do in fitness is just to quit and stop going to the gym. That makes it harder 6 months down the road when you're about to put those shorts on again, or your kids want to go outside and play, but it's easy right now. Like, same thing, it's easy right now just to avoid that, to not think about that, to not think about the things that make you feel shitty, or those pain points, or that thing somebody said to you last week that made you be like, oh, fuck, I got to get my life together. It's much easier to just let those things go than to face them. And so you've got to recognize when you're doing that.
I think that the main
so that you
goal,
can face them.
back to goal setting, that's where that goes for me, because just as those pain points may change, your goals will change also. And this goes back again to your awareness and your perspective on your goal, and what is it you're trying to do? Are you being realistic about them? And what I mean by realistic is, I'm not trying to lose 50 pounds in a day. That's not going to fucking happen, right? So if the goal is, let's just say you were talking about wearing shorts in the summer, whatever, like, cool, like that, say that's your big goal. Well, what do I got to do to start before that? Like, all right, if the shorts that I want to wear are whatever size and you're, say 4 inches too big, do you go after the 4 inches in your brain right now every single day? Or do you go after a half an inch for this month, a half an inch for the next month, and just kind of give yourself that? Because what I'll tell you what will tell you from experience is that if you were able to stay disciplined around things, it's a lot easier to hold that focus if you can start with the little thing that is a part of the big thing, not separate. That's important. So if you were to say, all right, if I got a 4-inch big goal, then I'm going to say, okay, from now till the end of January or February, whatever, I got a half an inch. I'm going to give myself half an inch to an inch. Bam, that's what I'm after. Because what you don't realize is that when that first half inch to an inch is achieved, the rest of those fucking inches don't mean as much anymore. They're no longer as scary. Because now that you see you could do one, you know that you can do many. So now you have you're thinking about this goal setting in a whole different light. One from experience-based positivity. And now you can get some aggression behind it, and you can start attacking things more. And then what happens is, too, the urge to quit drops, respectively, because it's no longer as attractive of an option. Well, shit, now that you can do it, it's like, well, shit, I could quit, but I could always keep going. And now that I did it, like, it's not as, what? They're equally just as easy. One sets me back, the other one pushes me forward.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you're mature enough with anything in terms of goal setting,
you know what that feels like, and you keep chasing that feeling.
Yeah. So if it's busy and packed, like maybe you, at your gym, maybe you go on a different day, or maybe you join a class and you be a part of the busyness where you have a spot slated for you. Let it be busy. Ain't got nothing to do with you. Right? Go from there.
Yeah.
That's just having an answer to a problem before it's even a thing. And now you're prepared.
Absolutely. I think at the end of the day, like, you got to recognize that you're a grown-up and you've got a choice here. You've got to decide, like, you're going to keep going or you're going to quit. And don't make that decision in a state of overwhelm. Don't make it impulsively. Don't get pissed that you can't get the 15-pound dumbbell and storm out the gym and never go back. Like, sit down and really think through what you were after in the first place and ask yourself, is it worth it to just give it up? Or do I keep going?